Now let's get into what some have been calling the so-called golden age for American workers under Trump. Now you probably heard this story spun a bunch of different ways. On cable news, in the headlines, that the working class had it made. Jobs were coming back, factories were roaring again. But honestly, what really got delivered? The administration promised major policy shifts, manufacturing rebound, better trade deals, fewer jobs heading overseas. But was there any real structural shift in labor's power? Or just some big headlines and a couple ribbon cuttings? If you look past the talking points, a lot of folks on the ground were waiting for change that never really stuck. Maybe it felt like deja vu from other years. So what do we actually believe? The stories we're told, or what we see and feel in our own communities? Which sort of brings me to the way corporate media covers all this. Look, I know I'm picking a fight with Goliath here, but you can't talk about the reality for working people without digging into who's shaping the stories. Think about it. The networks, they're run by folks from the top 1%. And let's be real, their coverage almost always props up the status quo. Ever notice how labor stories are either buried or spun like everything's basically fine? Maybe just a blip here and there? They'll highlight when a handful of folks get bonuses after a tax cut, but they'll breeze past layoffs, or when wages don't actually keep up with inflation. That's why I want to shout out independent media. They take a totally different approach. Nonprofit, reader or viewer supported, not running ads, not selling your data. They say their whole mission is to serve the 99%, cover the news that matters for working people. And I gotta say, that perspective matters. You can spot it in what they choose to run with. When everyone else is distracted by billionaire drama or corporate mergers, you'll catch them focusing on unions, workplace safety, strikes, stuff that actually impacts regular people. There's a difference between being informed and just being fed a narrative that keeps things cozy for people at the top. It's kind of crazy, the way the big players can shape what we care about or how we see policy. If all you hear are success stories, or that any rough patch is just a bump in the road, you start wondering if it's just you not making it. But independent newsrooms, when they pick up those buried stories, suddenly you remember, oh right, it's not just me. The system itself, it's got cracks. And who benefits when those cracks are painted over or ignored? Not working folks, that's for damn sure.